Happy New Year.
Man, it's like we didn't even need the Dazzle pad today.
I know. It's crazy.
Oh, that's modern technology.
It's the Dazzle phone.
The crazy
the
things.
Dazzle phone today.
Yeah, today's a little light day for me. I didn't bring anything.
Yeah, you're not even wearing pants.
I'm just
I mean, you never wear pants while we're recording, but
let
you didn't even show up with pants.
just let the Lord work through me.
You drove here pantsless.
Oh, this is interesting. Oh, this was the starting. Wait, okay.
Correct. So I added something that I thought of a couple days ago to our list of potential topics.
Okay.
The words I wrote down were subscription church service. Now, what I don't understand, and this is 100% copyright, patent pending, the Razzle Dazzle Show, R&D Studios, whatever. You heard it here first. Okay. So, you have an app. Phone app, smart TV app, Apple TV, whatever. Right?
I know where this is going. Okay.
You pay a subscription service. You pay a monthly fee for the app. That's my water heater.
Okay.
You pay a monthly fee for the app with $50 a month, whatever we want to call it, right?
Sure.
As part of your subscription, they send you a kit, a monthly kit in the mail, just like HelloFresh or Jenny Craig or Sally Mae. Whatever.
Jesus Crate.
Yeah, Loot Crate. It's Christ Crate. Christ Crates. Patent pending. Christ Crate.
Oh God.
And so what you can do is, of course.
Okay, I'm sorry, man. Oh God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna need a Christ Crate. Oh my God.
Last Rites is a different subscription service.
Oh man.
So you
continue.
sign up.
I gotta take my jacket
that
off.
actually gives me another really good idea. But anyway, you sign up and you get your kit or whatever, and of course through the app you can watch previous recordings, devotionals, daily worship, whatever. But Sundays they do mass, and you get to watch the mass live in whatever language you've chosen, and you open your Christ Crate. And you have your pre-blessed body and blood of Christ, and you can, there's even some incense you can light and whatever. And when the priest, says it through the subscription service, that's when you eat the body and you drink the blood of Christ, and that way you don't have to leave the comfort of your own home. Especially older folks, they live in retirement communities, can't make it all the way to church, or people in rural areas can't make it all the way, to church or whatever. Boom. Christ Crate. The other idea I just thought of when you mentioned Last Rites is like an Uber for priests, where you just like, hey, I'm going to need a priest. I need a priest. Let's see. Oh, there's 3 priests in my area that are willing to come perform Last Rites on whatever, my dog. Maybe that one isn't as good of an idea. Maybe once we branch out, once we really hit it big with Christ Crate.
Yeah, well, you got to build a brand.
Christ Crate.
Oh my God, I can just
saying.
imagine. Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
Hey kids, what's in the Christ Crate this month?
Yeah, they'll have different propaganda, stories, beatitudes.
If what's his name, Popoff or whatever, can sell packets of water.
Hey man, that's
for
what I'm saying.
$20 a crack. Why not?
Oh yeah, I forgot all about. They'll include holy water.
Yeah,
they'll
you
have
got anointed spring water,
all that stuff. They'll have the priest thumbed ashes, like so priest on Ash Wednesday, the priest they'll put the ashes on like a piece of like tissue paper, and then you just stick it to your head, stick it to your forehead, and then peel it off.
Temporary tattoo.
It transfers the ashes to your. I'm just saying. It's everything else has gone remote and 21st century. It's time for Christ Crate. The time is now.
Yeah,
the future is now, old man.
Christ Crate.
I'm just saying. I thought of it the other day in the car.
The what's the word I'm looking for? The margins are just astronomical on that, because it's like you got a wafer.
You pay shipping once a month.
I mean, it's you're getting $4.
Yeah, and we can have tiers. We can have the mega Christ crate.
Mega Christ, the platinum Christ crate.
Yeah, the no, actually, we thought of this too. We were in the car. My brother-in-law thought of this, having different tiers. So you have like, just follower, and then there's like apostle level, and then there's like saint level and whatever. And if you go delinquent and on your subscription status, you enter Judas status.
I was gonna say, I was like, or if you return it, you're a Judas.
Yeah, exactly. If you get other people to sign up, you're John the Baptist.
Yeah.
Depending on how many people you get to sign up. They can have monthly sales that they call crusades. That you go out and try and get new subscribers. The possibilities are endless.
Oh man,
Christ crate. Sorry, I started us out with such a hot one.
That was
I feel like the rest
one.
of this episode is going to be just dog shit.
That was really good. Oh,
I
my
knew.
God.
I knew as soon as we talked about this in the car the other day, I had to write it down because I knew you would love it.
That is a great idea. I mean, you a lot of people in that circumstance watch stuff that the early morning. What's
but it's not
station WGCN or whatever that Christian station is. But that they do.
But it's not interactive.
I know that
you can't take the sacrament.
People are going to pay millions of dollars
right.
to this guy for a packet of spring water and a little prayer book. It's like, man, just spend $20 to $50 a month and get a whole Christ crate. You're getting a whole bunch of stuff.
Christ crate.
You get T-shirts and
everything.
Yeah, that's.
You have random drawings for winners of maybe like blessed water from Lourdes, France, or like you get the Lady of Guatemala candles,
tears from blood.
Yeah, bloody tears,
of
the Lord. Whatever, man. It's just
this is actually a piece of the cloth.
Yeah,
that Jesus was buried in.
The Shroud of Turin. Yeah. Still has that.
Idea.
Still has that.
Smells like my attic.
That crucifixion smell. Really smells like suffering.
Smell the suffering.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea. I'm wondering why nobody has done that yet.
I don't know.
Or maybe they have. We just don't know it. But I don't think so.
I don't think so. I feel like we would know it. I feel like we would have heard about it.
Yeah, that's a great.
Especially
idea.
because it's an app. It would be a technological.
Who is drunk?
No, sorry. This is an Apple product. We're not putting it on Google Play. Okay. Technological.
Yes.
This is a technological advancement in theology. So I feel like we might have heard about it because of the technology.
I agree.
Aspect.
Wow. That's I mean, everything's got it. A subscription. You can get food. You get
everything.
T-shirts, comic books, Loot Crate stuff.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not a Christ crate?
They have like grooming products. They have ties. You can have a necktie subscription service. They have a whole outfit subscription service, like for traveling. Like you sign up with a certain website. You tell them how many days you're going to be somewhere. They send a package to the hotel you're going to be staying at with clothes. Like outfits for each day and night, whatever, changes of clothes. You wear them and you ship them back in a pre-labeled box, and then you fly home. Like you don't have to pack clothes or toiletry, anything. They pack it all and they send it there.
Oh man, I wish you'd told me that before I packed for vacation. I totally would have done that.
It is expensive, but it exists.
Is it a monthly subscription?
I think it's like a per
diem.
It's not like unlimited
per day.
Yeah, it's like a per whatever.
Oh man, that would be interesting.
So on demand clothing, I guess.
Mean, I don't know, like to not have to check a bag and do all that, and just show up at the airport in my fucking underwear. Like
exactly. They won't even have to pat you down.
Nope.
It's like, nope. Those are legit.
I am dreading.
Those are organic. I can smell them.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm dreading it tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's the worst
Why?
thing is the TSA. I hate the TSA.
I will say, so you're flying out of Midway tomorrow.
Yes.
Right. So I will say that Midway, and this is the part where we lose everyone who's not from Chicago because they won't know, but
Yeah.
Midway, I have TSA pre-check, and at O'Hare, it makes a huge difference. And at a lot of other airports, it makes a huge difference. At Midway, it is exactly fucking the same. 100%. They put you through this crazy... When's the last time you were at Midway?
Not when I went to New Orleans.
Okay, so you know then. The crazy zigzaggy back and forth, and then you have to go through the dog courtyard where they sniff you, and then after you do all that crazy shit in the same line, then it breaks out to TSA pre-check and regular TSA. Yeah. So it makes absolutely no difference in at Midway. So,
yeah, I don't like it.
No, it's awful.
But it will the weather is supposed to be like 85.
I forgot where you're going.
Florida.
Which part?
Orlando.
Oh, cool.
Oh man, I've got like everything's paid for.
I mean,
I'm broke, but everything's paid for.
That's what you shoot for, really.
Yes.
So you're just gonna go and show up to the hotel and not leave for 5 days, or
no?
You guys got stuff planned.
Universal's paid for.
Oh, nice.
SeaWorld's paid for. It's all paid for.
Sweet.
So that I just show up, and then the only thing we have to worry about is food.
Yeah. I mean, you could wrestle Shamu for a carp, but I don't think it'll work out for you.
I can't wait.
I think it's not carp, it's mackerel. Sorry.
Can't wait to see that fucking thing in its fishbowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was
looking all sad with its sad fin hanging over.
So that's another thing. My brother-in-law, he said the phrase a dildo Christmas tree, and it's just one of those sets of words that elicits so many visuals in my head.
A dildo Christmas tree?
Yeah, like what is that? Just a regular tree with the branches are dildos,
or just one big
is it one
dildo
giant dildo
with little
dildos
ornaments?
off it, or is it a regular tree with dildo ornaments?
That's some psychological.
And so what he described it, his vision was a regular tree with dildo ornaments, and then a giant dildo stuck on the top as like the star would be.
That's dildo overkill.
But it would be flopped over because it was so big. And I was like, yeah, that's what happens with dicks when they've been in captivity too long. They just turn over.
Yeah. That's too many dicks.
I mean, it's in the eye of the beholder, really.
If you told me a dildo tree,
yeah,
I would
a dildo Christmas tree,
a fur,
not a dildo ficus,
right, or
right.
A weeping dildo,
a weeping dildo, a weeping wildo.
It would be. It would probably be
an everpeen.
Oh man. What was I talking about?
If I told you dildo Christmas tree, it would be a.
It was it would be one big dildo.
Okay.
With little ball testicle ornaments.
All right, I like it.
But at the top, I mean, you can't put another dick on the top.
Well, see, that's why he said a regular
double
tree.
dick in it.
Regular tree with a dick on top and dick ornaments. Maybe dick and ball
so just
ornaments.
a regular tree.
Yeah, regular Christmas tree.
I thought it was
with a dick as the
I thought
star.
it was a million dick little bristles.
No, not a million dick bristles. Nobody gets that.
That's too much dick.
That's like a toothbrush.
Yeah, exactly.
Brushing my teeth with little dicks.
Yeah, I've done it.
Who hasn't? So yeah, a regular tree with little dick ornaments and maybe some ball ornaments, whatever.
I think the ball ornaments would be.
It makes sense, or maybe it's a dick and balls all together, but then just one massive veiny triumphant bastard.
Yeah.
At the top.
Well, you could have those Italian bubble lights. Did you ever see those? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, it's like a candle with a bubbler at the bottom, and then they heat up from the whatever the LED or whatever, and then it bubbles up through the. You could have those like dick bubble ornaments, dick and ball bubble.
Wait a minute, are you telling me that no one has invented a dick lava lamp? Because I think that would be amazing.
That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you could buy it somewhere. I'm sure somebody's blown a glass dildo. Whatchamacallit? I'm gonna look it up. Let's see if you can get on Amazon. Can you get a dildo?
A dildo lava lamp.
Dildo lava lamp. Because Amazon sells shit like that.
I mean, Amazon sells. Yeah, they do sell dildos. You just have to get into their like the adult section.
The adult section.
The Amazon deep web.
Well, there's this. It's a kid's lava lamp and glitter tube set, but tell me those don't look like dildos.
They are phallic. They're a little angular.
They might all be phallic in nature.
They're like PlayStation 1 penises. So they are phallic in nature, but they do have some hard square
corners.
edges. Dildo lava lamp. Let's see what comes up on the old Google machine. Glowing glitter lava lamp dildo.
Now that's not to be actually used though, right?
I can't imagine. I mean, because lava lamps are extremely hot. They tell you not even to touch them.
This video doesn't.
This video is awful.
That video doesn't. I like how the search results put that at number 1.
That is interesting. World's most precious gemstone looks like a psychedelic dildo.
Precious.
Ooh.
Oh, that's an opal.
Yeah, it does look like a dildo. It is an opal. Look at you.
Yeah, that is an expensive looking opal.
Yeah, it said it was a most precious. Oh, well, there we kind of go.
No, that's Photoshop. That's not real.
That's CGI.
Yeah.
All right, so patent pending.
Patent pending.
Patent pending. We have to make a lava lamp. Maybe not lava lamp. Maybe just like a lukewarm lamp. You know, because it's got warmth is nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never had a lamp inside me, but I imagine if I did, I would want it to be warm, but not hot.
I don't know. I'd be really weird if it was made out of glass, though.
Really? Why?
Because I saw that picture of that guy with the broken glass in his ass.
Oh, we've all seen that picture. It's not a picture. It's a video. It's a video.
Yeah.
A guy. So for those out there who don't know, I mean, you can find this
on the dark side of the internet many years ago.
Well, this was many years ago when you didn't know which side you were on until it was too late.
Yeah.
Now there are very clear light side and dark side of the internet signs.
Yes.
Back then, you didn't know where you were till it was too late. So basically, a guy squats down and puts the open end of a small mason jar, in his ass. He squats down on it, and then he like sits up. It gets about 3/4 of the way in his ass, and he sort of like tries to stand up a little bit, and he must have like clenched too hard because the glass just shatters and disappears in his asshole, and then it's just a stream of blood firing out of him, and then the video ends. So yeah, but they're
forever
actually
burned into my.
Oh yeah, we can't. There's shit you can't unsee. That salad fingers, lemon party, meat spin,
salad fingers,
2 girls, 1 cup.
That cartoon.
I've never seen it, but I've heard it's terrible.
Salad fingers isn't that bad.
Oh, then I don't know what I'm talking about on that one. But believe me, lemon party.
Don't hug me, I'm scared.
Don't hug me, I'm scared is much more psychologically scarring. And what I was thinking of is not salad fingers. I was thinking of Tub Girl.
Oh yeah. That's
Tub Girl.
No,
you don't want to see.
You don't want to see that.
What was weird is once 2 girls, 1 cup came out, it spawned like a million copycat videos, and they each were worse than the previous. Yeah, all that shit's burned into my head.
Cake farting. That was a good one.
Cake farts was actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
that one I've seen more than once.
Yeah,
because it's funny.
Yes.
What cake farts is it's a chick just saying like, "Man, I could really go for some nice cake farts," and she's naked from the waist down, and she sits just not like deeply,
right?
But sits just enough to like just to smush onto a chocolate cake that smushes into her ass crack, and then she just starts farting uncontrollably, and it's just the sound of farts rippling against chocolate cake.
It's not even that. My favorite is there's like one frame or one part of that scene where she farts so violently that you can see the frosting ripple. And I'm like,
I didn't get forensic in my
you
viewing
gotta have
of it,
respect for that.
Respect the art form. I mean,
I love that video.
It is entertaining.
But it's one of those videos that you might have shown it to me.
That sounds right.
And it's one of those videos that I remember watching, and then halfway through, I'm like, why? Why am I watching this?
It's funny.
And why have I watched this far? Like, I've gotten the whole synopsis. I've gotten everything I can.
Yeah.
I've gotten all of the nutrients.
There's not a plot twist musical number that comes.
Yeah, it's like
show tunes.
First 15 seconds, I've consumed everything this video has to offer.
You've got it all. Yeah, that's back in the day when you didn't know what you were going to run into on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff's, I used to go to rotten.com a lot.
Steak and cheese, which is the same as Rotten.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, rotten.com was,
Rotten.com was worse. It didn't just have...
it had
everything.
The worst of the worst.
Yeah.
But...
Before old people knew about the internet and knew that we should censor certain things. I'm just saying make certain things harder to find.
No.
Or at least with more clear warning signs.
No, it had a warning page.
Before you look at Tupac's fucking autopsy.
There was a definite warning splash page that you had to click to enter. So, I mean, what more do you want? Like,
it's true.
And then you're doing more harm. The more warnings and things, people, young people and people are going to want to see it more. So, Rotten.com, in my opinion, was one at the forefront of like censorship and the free speech.
Exactly right.
And what you can and can't put on the internet.
I guess I was thinking more along the lines of like, maybe a more graphic description of what you were about to see, like the individual things.
You mean
hey,
like
this is going to be a mutilated dead body?
Yeah.
Hey, this guy fires blood out of his ass.
Maybe.
Hey, you're about to hear someone die by getting impaled by a horse penis.
But that goes without saying. Like, you're already on the site, so you should already know what you're going to get into, or
what's going to get into you.
If there's a link that says fried baby,
Ugh.
Oh, dude,
I know.
That site was
bad. It was very bad.
Very bad. But again, it's sites like that preserve a little bit of our freedom on the web.
I feel like it went from that to another very popular medium that people use on the internet, or used on the internet about 8-10 years ago. Pink and beige background. You had to refresh before your page would go away. I mean, I can't.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I can't break rule number 1.
Oh, yeah. But you're talking about like message boards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that, and that was like the intermediary between like, okay, post anything you want on this site, and no one knows any better, so it's never going to get taken down. And then there was that on message boards where it was only up for a very small amount of time, and everybody's anonymous, and then it goes away. And then there was deep web, which is what people use now. So it was a very niche thing for a little while.
Yeah, I remember those boards.
Mm-hmm.
They're awful now, but
back then that's where jokes came from.
That's where the fun of the internet.
The birth of every fun thing on the internet.
The birth of every meme and every reaction you've ever seen is from some message board, whether it be that one or a different one. So, since we're on the topic of freedom of speech, I have something I'd like to talk about. Something that has irritated me. I don't know if you've heard, but Louie C.K.
I did
his set.
I tweeted it.
Did you?
I tweeted it on the Razzle Dazzle Twitter.
Have you heard it?
I listened to it.
It is hysterical.
It's great until the last 10 seconds. I disagree with the last 10 seconds.
I don't remember what the last 10 seconds was.
I agree, because we've talked about the whole gender pronouns and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I agree with all of that. The very end of it is about the kids who survived Parkland,
Yeah.
the Parkland school shooting,
Yeah.
and then went and testified at Congress. He's making fun of them.
Yeah.
So the gender pronoun stuff, I agree. Think it's fine, fair play, and funny. The end of it, making fun of kids who lived through a shooting and then went and testified about gun control. That I don't. Hey, maybe it's funny to somebody. I respect his right and his ability to say it. I didn't find that part funny.
Are you talking about when he said, like, nobody gives a shit about you? Like, just because somebody was shot in your school?
Yeah, that.
And you pushed some fat kid in front of you and got away?
Yeah.
Well, here's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, sorry for...
No. It's good that you watched it. Or, well, listened to it.
Yeah, I listened to it.
So, what I don't like is this idea that once somebody does a thing that people are offended by or don't like, then everything else they say is under 10 times more scrutiny.
Yeah, I agree. That's what we said the very first time, separating the art from the artist.
But also 90% of that stand-up special was, I mean, I've heard him say much worse.
Sure.
And nobody gave a shit before.
Right, but it's because he's back on the upswing,
right,
or trying to be, that people are like more prone to be offended by him.
Now, he had a really good segment on, tipping your server.
Oh yeah, okay.
He was
sorry.
like,
we're in IT, and I was like tipping a server. You're like tipping it over.
Yeah, like tipping it over on its side.
Okay.
The thing about tipping your servers, and you don't tip people what you think they deserve. What do you have the tribunal at the end of the meal? I thought that was funny. I thought that was pro service workers.
Yeah.
Right. You're not going to see an article on like, oh, Louie C.K. defends service workers, and okay,
of course.
So you got that. You've got what I took away from the some of the pronoun stuff and the not the Parkland stuff, but the pronoun stuff and the thing. He was making a point that when he was 18, he's fucking getting high and drinking, and he's like, I gotta get my life together. Like, this is it. And that he feels that the younger generations are going straight from adolescence to political activism.
I agree I definitely picked up that message from it. I think it makes sense in the context, especially considering, like, yeah, if you go through a school shooting, chances are you're gonna grow up real quick, at least in some ways.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, I agree that if the message of that he was trying to convey is that kids are growing up too quickly, yes, I agree.
But
I think he strayed a bit.
He did. That
message.
was one of the main points. But the secondary point with the Parkland stuff was that 7,500 people die a day. These 20 kids died, and yeah, nobody wants to see kids get shot at school, but nobody gives a fuck about the other 7,500, right? So with that message, what he's saying is, when I look at it, is just because something is sensationalized and you were a part of it doesn't make you any more special than the people who died who got zero recognition.
That's
for
true.
It.
It is more. You're definitely going to get more attention at a school from a school shooting, or the media is going to sensationalize it a lot more than anything else.
Right, and he's criticizing the sensationalism of it.
Right.
And the way I see it, it's like, and that's absolutely true. You parade these kids up, and these kids, that fucking kid, don't get me wrong, that David Hogg or whatever his name was, who was like the poster child of children across America when he did all those. He did like public appearances and speeches, and he was a Parkland student.
I've never heard of
He was
this
the
person.
kid that Alex Jones thought was a fucking actor, whatever.
Sure.
Point is that, yeah, I mean, the news took it and ran, sensationalized it, sucked as much media attention, rating attention to get this this specific story, and it's absurd. And I agree with it. I'm not saying you shouldn't report the news on a school shooting.
Right.
I'm saying there's a certain point where we verged from news to shock, entertainment, whatever. So I got a completely different, and maybe that's just me looking too deep into Louis C.K.'s fart jokes, but
he can be deep when he wants to be.
I think he's deeper than people give him. I think he's deeper than people even understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
You know, and people just want to complain. And I heard the whole special. I'm like, what the fuck are people complaining about?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, like I said, I was fine. I was fine the whole way until the very end. It's like, yeah, I don't think it's fair to make fun of kids who live through a school shooting. That's just my feeling on it.
But he did specifically make fun of, I'd have to re-listen to it, but he specifically made fun of that kid that I was referring to.
Yeah.
I don't know if he made fun of in general. He was just picking on that kid because that kid's the one who decided to be the poster child of the Parkland shooting, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, he had a whole bit on fucking killing people with nut allergies. Like, nobody fucking bats an eye, and then he makes a
well, there hasn't been a nut apocalypse, a school.
I bet you more people are killed by peanuts a year than school shootings.
Now that would be an interesting statistic. I would have to look at that. Depends if we're talking worldwide or just in the U.S.
Yeah, just the U.S. I bet you more people die from nut allergies.
We have the technology.
Yeah, let's look it up.
All right,
because I would love to know that. I would love to see death by peanuts. Well, we should just say nuts in general.
By peanut allergy.
Facts and statistics.
Foodallergy.org.
Oh my goodness.
Food allergies are on the rise. Serious, life-threatening. Okay.
Is there a cure?
No.
Don't eat nuts.
Death by nut allergy statistics.
There you go.
Death by peanut is extremely rare. Estimates range from 150 to 200 deaths a year from peanut allergies.
All right. So let's say 200.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be higher because of other types of
hey,
nuts,
let's just stick to 200. How many people died in school shootings last year?
Okay. School shooting death
2018.
2018. Okay.
Wait, up.
Oh, here we go. 40 in the U.S.
Okay. So 5 times more.
Yeah.
Die of peanut allergies.
Yeah. That's true. Oh, this is a Snopes thing. Which has killed more people in 2018? School shootings or military service?
Military. Well, I guess it's...
I would imagine military service.
I was just going to say it's a mixture. It's like kind of true, kind of not.
This is a very
true.
long Snopes article. You can tell that's going to be a muddied...
Yeah, because you gotta define military death. Are we talking like in the action or in complications or...
It didn't really... Oh, this is only as of May, though, for last year. So...
Okay.
I wonder what the total number was for the year.
Let's say 50. Let's say 100.
Sure.
100% more people have died from peanut allergies. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't me equating like one over the other, but if you're gonna get pissed off at this guy for making fun of school shootings, where was everybody during his fucking allergy bit? Where was everybody during any other bit that he did before everything? Everything was fine.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, listen, if you want to hate on Louis C.K., you don't have to watch him. You don't have to listen to him. You just turn the TV off and that's fine. And we talked about that before. But if you're going to criticize the guy when he's trying to come back and make a living, it's like, have the same standard of being critical of somebody that you had before. The Parkland stuff, I get it. if you didn't like that, or you didn't look into it, or
43 according to Wikipedia.
43.
43
that's
last
nothing.
year.
So
Compared to Peanuts,
absolutely.
the real killers. We need peanut
silent
control.
killers. So yeah, if then maintain that standard. But these people are coming after him over everything that he does and says, and it's like, guys, like, not to mention the articles that came out when he did the surprise set. Oh, how could he come up and force these people to watch him? He was fucking billed for that show. People showed up to see him in that show, and then they recorded him. And that wasn't like a public recording, like the Louie C.K. had it professionally recorded to be released.
Someone
recorded a set that he did for people who paid to see him, right? So where is the outrage? Don't get outraged over a leaked video of some guy with a cell phone. You didn't go to the set. You didn't pay money to see him.
Yeah.
Now, if you went there and he did the Parkland joke at the end of the set and you stood up and go, sorry, this is too far for me, and then you left, I get it.
Yeah.
That's maintaining some level of
responsibility, mutual responsibility.
Right. And at that point, you can decide one way or the other. But like, a video's leaked and he says something,
Yeah.
that you don't like.
And not just
terrible.
that. Not just that. Like, first of all, I don't know, man. I think just because he's famous doesn't mean he's incapable of telling a bad joke. Like, to me, it was just a bad joke. I don't hate Louie C.K. now. I just didn't like that joke. So I don't think it's any comedian is incapable of telling a bad joke every once in a while. It doesn't matter if if it's your first set or your 500th set.
Right. All the greats, even the greatest comedians of our time, every now and then they have a joke that doesn't land.
Fucking Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish performed. She performed New Year's Day. She forgot her jokes halfway through the set, then had someone bring out a bottle of Ciroc and just started bringing fans on stage and drinking with them. And the next day she apologized for it and said, like, yeah, I was partying until like noon that day and because it was New Year's Day and whatever. And everybody is capable of making a bad having a bad set.
Right. But don't turn around and take that bad joke and then amplify it to like a degree where it's like, oh, well, now we need to take him out back and beat the shit out of him.
Not to mention he's always treaded on the
pushing
extreme,
the envelope on the jokes that he tells. One of the funniest jokes he ever did, one of his funniest bits was, and it shows a lot of his character now, but coming home to find his wife dead, and he takes her hand and gives himself a hand job with it, and he's like, she ain't getting any deader, it's just one more, just one more.
That's the point. That's his style.
That's his style,
right? And
that's a bit morbid, but 12 years ago when that joke was told, it was oh God, it's pushing the envelope. It's hysterical. Nobody complained about it.
Well, he wasn't a pariah 12 years ago.
That's the other thing. Yeah. I mean, air quotes.
Yeah. So my feeling on the whole thing is I'm defending Louie C.K. I am not defending that particular joke.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, I get it. I can understand somebody not liking that joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think it was funny. It wasn't nearly as funny as the rest. Like, he could have left that whole bit out, and I would have been completely fine with that set. I mean, the diarrhea part.
I didn't hear it, so I only heard that end piece.
Oh my! You haven't heard the rest of it?
No.
Oh, come on, motherfucker!
I only heard that end piece.
Oh my God!
Because I heard it because, of course, that was the part that was sensationalized.
It was.
So that's the part that I found, and that's the part I heard. I didn't know the rest of it was out there.
There's 40. It's like 48 minutes.
I didn't know that. I only heard that part.
The first few minutes he talks about, he's like, has anybody else had a year that was just shitty, like the whole year? And then he talks about like losing $35 million because of everything.
Because of the movie
and everything. And he was like, I bought a gold watch. He's like, what kind of fucking person buys a gold watch? And then he's like, I can't go and sell it. I can't go and be like, yeah, I'm still rich, but I just they know you're in trouble. So they're like, I'll give you $8 for it. Yeah, I'll take $8 for it. It's so you have to listen to it. You have to listen to
I'll have to seek it out because I didn't know that the rest of it existed.
Yeah, just type in. I was actually gonna play clips of it today. I was gonna write down the timestamps because there was certain points, but we hit them all without me having to do that. But I'm glad I didn't because I want you to hear it.
Gotcha.
But it's good. It's one of his better ones. It's better. It's a better set than his OMG or whatever his HBO special was, because that one I didn't really care for except for the nut allergy bit. Yes, but maybe.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was a good bit, but anyways, I got really upset when I read all the stories, and then I hadn't heard it yet, and then I went online and I found it, and I was like, all right, let me listen to this, because by the way these people are talking, this is like borderline unbelievable. And I listened to it, I'm like, fucking it, that's it? Like, are you kidding me? I say worse things in my car
in this basement.
It's crazy to me.
I know.
So anyway, that being said, that's that. I just wanted to I just want anybody to know that anytime something happens with Louie C.K., I'm gonna talk about it on this podcast.
Yeah,
because I don't think enough people. And even though our audience isn't staggeringly large, I just don't think enough people stand up for that guy, or any comedian in general. I will stand up for almost any comedian.
What's funny is, right after this shit happened, Pete Davidson did a set on New Year's.
Fuck Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson did a set on New Year's and totally shit all over Louie C.K. in his set.
The guy who got his fame from fucking someone 10 times more famous than him?
Well, one of many people to do that, yes.
He's the worst.
So he was on there and he did a set about, I forgot what the exact joke was, but the joke was about somebody being an asshole and a terrible person, and he said something about Louie C.K. and then he's like, yeah, that joke used to be about Aziz Ansari, but he's been nice to me recently. And I'm like, okay. And then he told a story about apparently Louie C.K. a couple of years ago, like 2015, when Louie C.K. hosted SNL.
Oh, I know this story.
Supposedly he tried to get Pete Davidson fired for literally just sitting around and smoking weed all day. At least those are Pete Davidson's words.
I know that story.
According,
I heard that story actually after he hosted. I don't know where I read that from, but something like he went to Lorne Michaels or something and said, but the story I heard was that Pete Davidson that was what he did.
Mm-hmm. And what he said was that what Pete Davidson said Louie C.K. said was that all he did was smoke weed all day. He's just smoking his career away, and that he smokes so much weed that he makes everyone around him uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yes. That's exactly what I heard.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's not true.
Yeah, I don't think it's not true.
So I think that Pete Davidson probably doesn't like Louie C.K., not because he lied. I mean, he probably did try to get him fired from SNL, but I don't think Pete Davidson ever said, and it's completely unfounded. Yeah. It probably was true, right. And it probably does make Pete Davidson is a fucking joke. I never thought he was funny. I don't think his skits are funny on SNL. I can't speak to his comedic writing. I don't know if he wrote or
writes more than what he performs,
right? Or maybe writes other skits for other people. That I don't know. But him as a SNL cast member was the equivalent of Jimmy Fallon, but worse. Like, Jimmy Fallon to me is one of the worst SNL cast members, and it was just because the essence of that show was to be a character.
Yeah, he couldn't not be Jimmy Fallon.
He couldn't stay in character.
Yeah. His character is Jimmy Fallon, who sits there and laughs.
Right.
At everything.
And can't fucking do a bit. And before him, it was fucking Sandler. Sandler's the second worst SNL cast member, in my opinion, because he couldn't stay. He was Adam Sandler.
Yep.
And then any bit he did, whether it be with him or Spade or anybody else, he broke character and laughed and couldn't do it. And it's like that's the whole point of what SNL is.
Right. It's people doing ridiculous shit in character. Yeah.
Showing that range. And you know, and nowadays they're the biggest, some of the biggest stars that come out of that show, and it's like I don't, you know. And then you've got people like you know, Will Ferrell, Phil Hartman, you know,
R.I.P.
R.I.P. God, I wish Phil Hartman hadn't passed. He was fantastic. Even Chris Farley. Like Chris Farley.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. He didn't write any of his own stuff.
Right.
He didn't write anything. But you know what? If he was in something, he was in character. He didn't break from that Matt Foley character. Everybody else broke, but he didn't break. Anytime he did those little, you know, Schmidt's Gay or whatever, the commercial, oh my God, even though that had fucking Sandler in it. But, you know, it was one of those things. And now you look and Jimmy Fallon's fucking on the host. It's a fucking travesty. Jimmy Fallon is one of the most unfunny, vanilla, looks like he bangs his wife in Missionary every night
for the purpose of procreation.
For the purpose of procreation. And he probably laughs the whole time.
That's one of those old internet jokes that most people just won't get. But
he's terrible. I fucking hate Jimmy Fallon. And it's just because he's got no spine. He has no backbone.
So great.
Oh my
so
God.
Great.
Oh my God.
Oh
my God. Okay.
That's why Justin Timberlake's when he impersonates, there's a skit he did on SNL impersonating Jimmy Fallon, and he nailed it.
It was probably Jeopardy or something.
It was Jeopardy. He's like, so great. And Jimmy
great.
Fallon was also there, and he lost character.
Yeah.
He broke character.
Of course he did. He always breaks character.
Looking at Justin Timberlake making fun of him.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So
I mean, I remember when late night was a little edgier. You know, you had Letterman, who is the best and will always be the best. Leno he served his purpose. I was never a fan of Jay Leno. I didn't think he was funny. I didn't like his stand-up. I didn't like his late show. But he was a good counterbalance to the dry, witty humor that Letterman had. People who didn't, and I could see why, it's a specific taste. If you didn't like that, you go over to, hey, what's the deal with these taxis? You know, and you know, you get that clean cut homeboy humor that Jay Leno has. That every man, you know, he wears a suit at night, and during the day he's wearing a fucking denim tuxedo.
Tim Allen humor.
Yes, yeah, but at least Tim Allen had a little bit of edge to his mainly chauvinistic humor.
Sure.
Jay Leno was just, you know, observational. Like
have
a really.
Have you seen this?
Yeah,
have you
heard this?
That's right. That episode of South Park where Jimmy becomes a
stand-up.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
He starts every joke with that.
That's because Jay, and that's fine. You know, he had his audience, an older audience that cared for that sort of thing. But, you know, and then you also had your Craig Kilborns and your Craig Fergusons and who else did the late Conan O'Brien.
Of course.
You know, was again one of my favorites with Letterman. And now what do you have? Fucking Jimmy Fallon.
And the other one, Jimmy Kimmel.
Now Jimmy Kimmel is more of a David Letterman. You'd thinking you know who Jimmy Kimmel was 10 years ago or 15 years ago.
On the Man Show,
or when
with Adam Carolla,
yes, or when even when he first started doing that Late Show, you know, edgy comedy, you know, then he turned into a fucking bleeding heart, like, you know, that the whole lion that got shot, which I get it. Yeah. Remember that lion that got shot? Mm-hmm. He's fucking boo-hooing on national television. It's like, dude, it's sad. A lion got shot, but dude, like, come on, like, this is you'd never see anybody else. And then his child, which I get, tough situation, but now he's trying to peddle this idea of free healthcare and, no parent should watch their child die and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, this is coming from the guy that could have paid for that surgery with what was underneath your couch cushions. Like, don't talk to me about free healthcare and your child need. Your child got the best medical procedure and the best doctors possible because you're on television.
Right.
That's the only reason. So why are you peddling this idea of free healthcare when you're not a recipient? Like, that's not what you're. It was just. And I'm of the stance where I completely agree. No parent should watch their children die.
Well, because they can't afford it. I mean, no parent should watch their children die anyways. But it shouldn't be because you can't afford it.
Because you can't afford it.
Right.
I get that. But I don't want to pay for your child's heart surgery.
I think the idea is you pay for someone else's and someone else pays for yours.
But I'm never going to need free healthcare. Like, I'm never going to need. I have healthcare.
You have healthcare in the system as it exists,
Correct.
and you would have healthcare in that system too. And the only difference is instead of paying your biweekly premium to your health insurance company, because that's what you do now. We work at the same place. We have the same health insurance.
Yeah.
You pay for my sickness. I pay for yours. We pay for everyone at the companies. Correct. And everyone else who's at the same insurance companies. It's the same thing. It's just taking the insurance company and making it 300 million because it's everybody in the United States. Right. You know what I mean? It's the same concept. It's just at the national level instead of at your individual plan level. That's all.
And I don't like the idea of the national level. I don't like that. And I think that I don't mind having a voice, or especially when you're in a position on television to have a voice and things like that. But I'm sorry, I can't stand that. That to me seemed very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Pandering?
Kind of pandering, but if it was something that, like, here, let's say for 7 years before he was a host, or before the Man Show, and he was, living on a couch or something, and, or making ends meet, and his son got sick, and then, a big thing came out about nationalizing or, healthcare. And then he came out and said, well, when I was coming up, I didn't have a lot of money. And, it took me 20 years or 10 years until I was a host to pay off this debt or whatever for my son who.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So you're saying that he took his experience and used it to push
an agenda,
an agenda and a platform that didn't or wouldn't, he couldn't necessarily relate to.
Exactly.
But had he had some experience with that, but unfortunately, the unfortunate thing is that if the rich don't advocate for the poor, no one's going to.
But he's not advocate. That's the thing. To me, it's false advocating. It doesn't feel genuine, like he's genuinely advocating.
Sure, maybe.
It feels like he's going to take this situation and use it to push an agenda, and also lead that into a "I hate Trump" rant type thing.
Yeah,
it's like a very flow.
Like what story do I tell tonight to express how much I hate Trump?
Right. Yeah. And it didn't feel authentic, and it just seemed to push an agenda that he had no stake in the game for. I'm more of an experience-driven person. So if somebody has an experience in something, like or has been in my shoes for something, then I completely get it, and I empathize, and I still don't agree in nationalized healthcare, but I can at least be okay with him boohooing on television. But Jimmy Kimmel kind of turned from this, this comic that I actually enjoyed, to a pandering figurehead for big Disney.
So the last question I'll ask you is, if not fully nationalized or socialized medicine, would you support a public option? So if you wanted to be able to buy into Medicare, So effectively make the federal government your health insurance provider instead of
No.
Blue Cross Blue Shield, whatever.
No.
You wouldn't even be. Now, I'm not saying would you buy into it. I'm saying you wouldn't even be okay with it being an option.
See, this is tough because it wouldn't necessarily involve me.
Right.
I'll say this much. I'll say that I don't like the idea of the government being involved in everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think government's too big. But as far as an option goes,
well, it's like UPS and USPS.
right?
You don't have to send your shit with the Postal Service. You can send it with UPS if you want to. It's an oversimplified
I'm
analogy,
also about competition in the marketplace. So I think one of the problems with the healthcare system, to me,
it's completely bullshit and rigged.
Yeah. I mean,
hospitals can just decide they're going to charge $1 million for something in the U.S. and it costs $5,000 everywhere else.
Actually, and real briefly, every hospital has like a ledger book, or every organization that owns a hospital, or however you want to look at it. And in that ledger book, it's got prices for everything. Okay, so at this hospital, let's say Silver Cross, which is a nice newer hospital, one syringe is $5. You go 10 miles away to Palos, that syringe, the same one on that hospital's ledger book, is $2. So that's where the pricing comes from the hospital standpoint. There is no standardized pricing.
No. In the U.S. there isn't.
In the U.S. So everything's region based.
Well, the problem, I think the problem is that this could be a topic for an entire show by itself.
It should.
Yeah, we can talk about this because you have some experience with it. I have some experience with it. It's just that because there isn't one giant player in the market. See, the health insurance companies don't give a fuck what healthcare providers charge. So you can take a $5 inhaler and charge $200 for it.
Correct.
Because the insurance company doesn't give a fuck because they're just going to overcharge you and me for insurance. And then the pharmaceutical company can overcharge the insurance company, and they're making all the money.
And the problem is that, well, let's take the inhaler for example. So an albuterol inhaler without insurance is about $75. So if you have insurance, then it's $10. I don't know what my copay is. I haven't paid a copay in like 6 months because I had my surgery, so everything's free. So but I don't know if it's $10 or $25, doesn't matter. So basically, it's $25 for me. But that's just an agreement that they make, in the background.
But that's not how that works. They still charge the insurance company the difference.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. But the price is irrelevant, what the price is.
Right.
Like my $25, I mean, is nothing. It's like, okay, well, this is $75, but then the insurance company or is like, all right, well, we'll charge this much.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing is the insurance company negotiates the cost of care down,
right,
and then pays a portion.
Correct.
But you can't negotiate the cost of care down.
Nope. It's $25. Whatever.
No.
I'm
right. Well, what I'm saying is, like, let's say you didn't have insurance.
Now
you can't go into Walgreens and say, "Well, I know my insurance company actually only pays you $50.
Right.
I'll pay you $50."
And that's what I was going to say.
You can't, but you don't have that power because you're not a fucking insurance company.
The offset of prices
Mm-hmm.
and everything else in terms of medicine is offset and equalized by the people who overpay that don't have insurance. So that guy that for my fucking Advair, when I was on Advair was $300 for a month's supply of Advair. It's $25 with insurance.
Right.
There's a huge drop off there. So those people that have to pay that $300 to live, who probably can't afford it, who don't have insurance.
Who the fuck can afford it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You can't afford a $300 inhaler.
I couldn't do it.
I mean, Jimmy Kimmel could, but
yeah,
we can't.
We can't. I mean, even now, I would fucking kill myself if I had to spend $300. But the point is that there are those people that have to pay that to live, and that offsets any price difference between my $25 and the negotiated rate behind the curtains that they get for whatever. So the whole system relies on people overpaying for medical prescriptions, in my opinion. When I look at it, it's like the whole fucking thing is built upon these poor lower middle class people who are paying out of pocket for this thing that is cost $3 to make. Like, it's just it is awful. So at one point in time, if I wanted to live when I didn't have insurance, I was paying $300 a month for Advair, $75 a month for an inhaler, an albuterol inhaler. I'm on Singulair. Now, Singulair went generic like 5 years ago, but before that, it was like, I think it was over $100. Then it went from get that, it went from over $100 to $15 once it went generic. So $375, $100 for Singulair. And then, my regular maintenance, Zyrtec and whatever else. Like, you're at that time, you're looking at like 3/4 of a paycheck.
Yeah.
Just to live.
Yep.
And it was, I get all the same medicines now for like under $100 a month. And especially even now where I don't have a copay. So, medical system, I know it. Fucking, are you kidding me? For real quick, we're going to go over a little bit, but I was in a coma. I was very sick 5 years ago. 4 years and a week. And I did not have insurance. And, the level of care that I got was not equal to somebody else's because I didn't have insurance. I don't care what anybody says.
And they knew. The hospital knew.
The hospital knew.
That they weren't going to get paid.
This was a charity.
Right.
Because you have to know, because as soon as everybody heard I didn't have insurance, and you look at the cost of everything a day, you could be Jimmy Kimmel and you wouldn't want to fucking pay.
Yeah. No.
Like, we're talking, my medical bills at the end of that were in the 6 digits.
Yeah, sure.
But how much of that was real? Like,
none.
how much of that?
10%, maybe.
That's, and you know what? I think that's a good estimate. I think 10%, of the $145,000 medical bill, I think about $14,000.
Yeah, when you take in people's time, the actual medicine, the maintenance on the room, all the shit. Yeah.
Because they were charging me I was on propofol, which is whatever.
It's what killed Michael Jackson.
What killed Michael Jackson.
Or was it fentanyl? I think it was propofol.
It was propofol.
Yeah.
That's like $500 a bottle, and I was going through just bottles a day to keep me under for 12, 13, however many days I was under. So you're looking at like, $40,000 in just propofol.
Right.
That's it. Just one thing. Not including any of the other drugs or the anesthesiologist's time, and they didn't spend a lot of, that's the other thing, is they didn't even spend a lot of time. The doctors would come in and go, all right, well, we'll see how he is tomorrow. And then they would leave.
Yep.
I would probably still be in a coma if it wasn't for those nurses and my mother. Because the nurses pulled my mother aside and said, you need to get a different doctor. He does not care. He doesn't give a shit. You need somebody that's going to give a shit, or you need to request a transfer to a different hospital. And they would have transferred me.
Yeah, you were like right about to transfer.
I was about to transfer over to Northwestern.
Yeah.
But that I was too critical. I would have died in transport because they didn't have the machines necessary
Right.
to keep me alive.
Well, not for free.
That's the other thing.
Those are reserved for paying.
Yeah, those are
customers.
reserved for the Blue Cross Blue Shield
Exactly. The
PPOs.
Cigna Elite. On that note,
Yes,
because
we
we
have
could
to
go
go.
on. We could go on about healthcare.
Well, you know what? Well, we'll lead this in. You know, just next week, next podcast, we'll go and I'll tell my story. I'll tell my coma story.
Sure.
I've never really made it. I've told people the story, but I'll publicly have it and
Sure.
I'll go into detail. And it's actually very interesting. And then we'll go into healthcare and stuff. So.
All right. So we are on YouTube. We are on podparadise.com. We are on Spotify. We are on iTunes. We are on the Google Play Store. I don't think I missed anything. We are on Twitter at RAZZLDAZZL. Adios. There's a little reggae in the background.
Hold on. You fucked me up.
He's doing this on his phone this time.
Yeah,
so.
this is my phone synced to my iCloud, and like everything's so much smaller. Okay, and take 2 and action.
Very nice.
Okay, bye.
Bye.